Hi, fourth graders. Happy Friday before break. I know you're probably looking forward to your week next week. For today's number talk, I thought we'd do another plotting of fractions and decimals on the number line. So what I'd like you to do is take a look at the different numbers I'm about to show you. If you have a number line at home, go ahead and draw it and then try and plot them on the number line where you think they should go. And then you can compare it to my answer up here. So the numbers I'd like you to look at, sorry we have a loud baby today and some brothers who think he's funny. I want you to look at the numbers 1/3, 2 1/8, 1 75/100, and 6/10. So go ahead and draw your number line on a piece of paper at home. And then I want you to press pause and try and plot these numbers onto your open number line. Then go ahead and compare what you have with what I'll show you here in a second. Once you're ready, go ahead and unpause and we'll take a look at the reasoning behind where these numbers should go. So first of all, as I look at my numbers here, I see that they're not all below 1. There are some that are greater than 1 whole. In fact, I know that this number is greater than 1 whole, and I know that this number is greater than 2 whole. So for my number line today, I need to extend it all the way up to number 3. So once I have my number line ready to go, 1, 2, 3, I can go ahead and start figuring out where to plot these different numbers. I'm going to go ahead and start with 1/3. I know 1/3 is less than 1 whole. Because it's only one part out of 3. And in order to figure out one piece out of 3 or one part out of 3, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that this 1 whole is divided up into thirds. So I'm going to go ahead and plot 1/3 right here on my number line. Next, I'm going to go ahead and look at 6/10 because I know that's also less than 1. 6/10 is the same as 60% if I was looking at percentages. Also the same as 6/10 like this if I were looking at it in terms of a fraction. So as I look back at my number line over here, I know that 2/3 would be here, and 1/3, we have a repeating decimal here, but we know that 1/3 is 0.33333. We know that 2/3 is 0.66667, right? So I know that 6/10 is going to be a little bit smaller than this. I also know that it's greater than 1/2, which is equivalent to 5/10. So I know that it's actually going to fall a little closer to 2/3, but in between 1/2 and 2/3. So I'm going to go ahead and put it about right here. So I'll say this is 0 6/10. Then for, I'm going to do 1 75/100 next because that would be my next lowest number. 1 75/100, I know that 75/100 is equivalent to 3/4. So I'm going to go ahead and break up my second whole number here from 1 to 2 into 4 pieces. And I know that 1 75/100 would go right here. And then finally for 2 1/8, again, I'm looking at a number greater than 2. I'm going to go ahead and break up my, between 2 and 3, I'm going to go ahead and break it up into eighths. And I know that right here would be my 2 1/8 mark. So take a look at where you place these on your number line and see if you had the same as me. Have a great spring break.
Let's multiply 6 times 7,981. And the way we're going to do it right now is just to represent or expand out 7,981 as 7,000 plus 900 plus 900 plus 80 plus 80 plus 1 plus 1. And so multiplying 6 times 7,981 is the same thing as multiplying 6 times 7,000 plus 6 times 900 plus 6 times 80 plus 6 times 1. You would essentially distribute the 6. And to help us keep track of things, let me draw a little grid right over here. So this is the 6. And we're going to have to think about what 6 times 7,000 is, 6 times 900, 6 times 80, and 6 times 1. So I'll make a little square for a rectangle for each of them. So let me do that. So here we go. And so we just need to think about what is 6 times 7,000? Well, 6 times 7 is 42. So 6 times 7,000 is 42,000. 6 times 900, well, once again, 6 times 9 is 54. So 6 times 900 is 5,400. 6 times 80, well, 80 is 8 tens. So 6 times 8 is 48. But since it's 6 times 80, or 8 tens, this is going to be 48 tens, or 480. And then finally, 6 times 1, of course, is equal to 6. So to find what this product is, we just have to take the sum of each of these numbers. What 6 times 7,000 is, plus 6 times 900, plus 6 times 80, plus 6 times 1. So let's do that right over here. So it's going to be 42,000 plus 5,400 plus 480 plus 6, and we get, let's see, in the ones place we just have a 6, in the tens place we just have an 8, in the hundreds place 4 plus 4 is 8, in the thousands place 2 plus 5 is 7, and then finally in the 10,000s place we still have a 4. So we get 47,886. So this is equal to 47,886. And what I encourage you to do is to think about how this is really underlying what we're doing here. It's not that different than what you might have done with the traditional multiplication techniques. And this is a useful way of thinking about it because now you really understand what's going on. And actually, when you start doing things like this in your head, at least for myself, this is actually how I try to tackle the multiplication problem. If someone says 6 times 7,981, if I was just looking at this and I didn't have any paper, I would say, okay, what's 6 times 7,000? I'd say, okay, that's 42,000. I'll try to remember that. What's 6 times 900? Well, that's 5,400. Well, if I add that to the 42,000, I get 47,400. Then what's 6 times 8? 480. Have to add that to the 47,400 to get to 47,880. And then what's 6 times 1? Well, that's 6. We'll add that to the 47,880, which I've been keeping in my brain, and that's going to be 47,886. So this helps you understand what's really going on when you multiply multiple digits, and it's a useful technique for doing mental multiplication.